How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what's up, nerds? How's everyone doing? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that fun stuff. How's everyone doing? It's the first stream, and yes, we're back. We are finally back. I know I said I didn't know what I was gonna do, if I was gonna be back or not, but boy, oh boy, did I miss you guys having the 3 viewers that I usually have. I missed you guys very much, and I figured, you know, why not just stream what I'm doing anyways, which is my homework, and just do it in a more calm, relaxed way where we don't have to force a strict schedule of looking at a strict watch list and finish that in time and then all that. Just kind of free ball it as we're going, have some fun with it, you know, because that's what I'm doing when I'm doing my homework. I'll have something else in the background, and I'm doing my homework, scanning for stocks and so on. So we're just gonna do the basic thing again, do our homework over here with you guys in the chat. So if you're interested in any stocks that you want me to take a look at, throw them in the chat. Let's take a look at it. I see people in the chat already talking about a moment of silence for Mr. Trudeau. I mean, is anything really going to change? Yay, finally Trudeau gone. Yes, Dieter. Yes, TH. I get it. Look, yeah, Trudeau is gone. But is it really gonna make a difference? They're just gonna put another liberal idiot in the seat, and things are just gonna be exactly the same. I think once we get a proper vote coming in, and then, you know, maybe things change up a little bit, or maybe they actually come to their senses and they don't elect somebody as crazy as Trudeau. So it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take at least few months. Trump is still going to have to deal with Trudeau a little bit before Trudeau resigns properly. So nothing's really gonna change. Let's be real. Nothing's really gonna come into play. At least that's just me being, you know, negative as I always am. I just don't believe in politics that way. I think it's all a sham, all bullshit. It doesn't matter. They're just scapegoats at the end of the day, and then they're just Pinocchio's Geppetto. They're Geppetto. Somebody else is Geppettoing the Pinocchio who's the president, who's the scapegoat. That's just my opinion. Like, you really think Biden was in power this whole time? No, somebody else was puppeteering Biden. I don't know, Barack Obama Obama, maybe it's Kamala Harris, who I don't know who it is, right? But somebody else was clearly in power. It's the same thing. You can blame it on Trudeau all you want. Somebody else was in power, so I don't know if it's really gonna change that much. We'll see. I hope things change and things get better, right? Especially with Trump going into power, people think it's gonna get better. I hope it's gonna get better. We're just gonna see what happens. The truth will reveal itself. Talking about truth revealing itself, we're gonna find out about how stocks reveal themselves tomorrow, where the true moves could be on some of these names. I created a little bit of a watch list where some of these moves could come into play for us, and how can we take advantage. I also traded a lot today. I traded 13 names. Overall, down 0.07 R on the day. If I calculate to how much money I can lose on a day, because I work at a prop firm, obviously, so how much money can I lose on a day compared to that? How much did I actually lose? I only lost 0.07% on the day, and that means I'm only starting the year down with 0.07% down on the day. So percent, well, 0.07 R. So very little red day for me, but I did trade some names exceptionally well. OKLO, we planned, or I guess I did not go live, but I planned for OKLO the night before. Basically the idea was if the stock took out the all-time high, which it did, there was a lot of momentum in the market today. That was a good trade for me. Obviously Fubo TV with the big move to the upside, so caught some longs coming into play on Fubo TV today. That was another stock that helped me bring back my day from a red day. But some of the other stocks that I traded, they were just red. Well, some of them were not even my trades. They were the office trades that were being called out, so I just kind of jumped onto those trades and took a beating on that. Honestly, if I didn't take all the office trades today, and if I only took my trades, I probably would have been profitable. Honestly, would have been profitable. But we're not gonna look at it like that, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who pushed the keys. I'm the one who decided to take those trades or whatever it is. So you know, red day, we're starting with a red day, starting with a red year, but not something that I'm too worried about. So let's go talk about the stocks that I actually traded on the day today. Here, for those of you interested, you should obviously follow me on Twitter, because that's where I'm going to post all my charts daily. I'm going to post all my charts daily on Twitter that I traded, with a quick little idea of how much that I'm up on that single name in terms of risk to reward units, or how much I'm down on that single name in terms of risk to reward units. And then overall risk to reward on the day will also be displayed at the top. Let's start with the best trade, I guess. So obviously OKLO, the idea was the stock can stay above its all-time high, which is around $28. Easily able to find a long over there. At least I thought that we could easily find a long over there. Stock actually opens up around 25. It goes back and forth a little bit. It doesn't really stick to that $25 and hold above 25 like I pictured it would have, but it does do that later on. So I managed to find the long above that 28 area. It made you fight for it. Like if you got in long a lot earlier, around 27.50 on the dips, you had to really stick through it and believe in the trade. For me, with the way the stock was playing the action, every time it would get flushed below 28, it would pop right back above 28. I'm reading tape here. I'm studying tape. I'm looking at how violent the stock is getting flushed above 28 to the downside, but every time it gets below 28, it holds and it goes back up to the north side. So I'm like, okay, interesting, let's get some long. But I'm watching it the whole time in this area. It's just doing the same thing. It goes up, gets slammed back down, goes up, gets slammed back down, goes up, actually breaks this range high, goes up, and then immediately gets slammed back down. I'm watching this on the tape. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I'm actually pissed off at this point, right? I'm actually pissed off. I'm like, oh, come on. You guys are gonna kill me on this trade after making me work for this. So I take some size out on that pop, and then I take some more size out, because again, the stock pops and immediately starts to get flashed back down. So I'm gonna come under the pretense that, hey, maybe the stock does not not really want to go above $29 today. That might be the top, because every time we go 29, we go back under 28. So you know, how many times are we gonna keep doing this until the buyer either gives up or the seller gets aggressive and slams the stock really hard to the downside? So I don't want to be in that battle. So I take out some more size over here, but this time we're actually holding above 28. So I'm looking at the tape, I'm analyzing, I'm going, okay, you're holding above 28. Volume starts to creep back in, so now I'm adding back the size that I got out, and I'm able to ride the stock to the upside. Beautiful rally, just a constant move straight up. Eventually stock gave me a 2-minute bar exit, a 5-minute bar exit, a 9 EMA exit, and then another 9 EMA exit where I completely scratched the trade. Or maybe that was a 21 EMA, I can't remember, but either way, scratched the trade and then just said thank you for the profits on OKLO. Monster trade today. Potentially we'll be watching it for a day 2 trade tomorrow also. Fubo TV, Disney partnership, Disney basically giving them their market cap in cash, or so I've heard. I'm not sure if that's the exact truth behind it, but lots of hype behind on this position. When I actually heard about that news, I was on the way to work. And I did notice the stock made a pop into $2, but by the time I got into work, the stock was already at $4, $5. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, now I gotta be very selective off the open as to where I want to go long, how do I want to go long, if I even want to go long, right? Off the open, stock crashes through $4 back into $3. I try a long around VWAP, I get burnt on that. Stock does manage to hold $3 very cleanly. I hesitate a little bit. I don't take the trade here. There's another spot right here as VWAP gets reclaimed, especially. Can I zoom in on this? Okay, let's go to a new chart. Right here, especially when this spot happens, or I guess I could go to the actual charts. So right here, when the stock looks to be holding above days open, it gets below, bounces off the 21 EMA on the 5-minute, and then immediately starts rallying. So I could have taken that break right there, that 430. I could have, really been aggressive and try to punch into that trade over here. I don't do it. I kind of, stay away from it. That's not 430, sorry. That's right over here, I think, right? That's right here when it actually breaks down and then pops back up. Let me kind of show you on the 1 minute. That's not it either. I think this was it actually. But you get the idea. Right on this drop and pop near VWAP where it drops and then pops back up. Ooh. Clicking too many buttons, drops and pops back up. That's a good spot right there to start the trade. I did not trade it. I think I was too distracted with other names at that moment. I also didn't believe in the move higher, especially after the reject from $5, the way it opened and got slammed back down from $4. I did not believe there could be a bigger move on Fubo to the upside, so I passed up on the trade over here. I guess if I didn't take the loss that I did on the name off the open, I would have been more inclined to look for the long off the $3 and then build off of that and then maybe look for a big home run. At the end of the day, I did catch a nice trade. So let me show you my trade. Around $4, I start building a position to scratch my itch. I just have a bid staying there. The stock comes down, gives me the fill. I go, okay, now it's time to pull up the stock, see what it's doing, and then get ready to manage the position. It pulls down. After pulling down, it starts to take out previous bar highs. So that's where I start really scaling into the position, going into that 430 450 area. It stalls, it gives you a breakout entry. I add over there and then just listening to my exit rules, waiting for the stock to give me a reason to exit. So previous bar highs, previous bar lows, 9 EMAs, and so on, letting a stock actually give me reasons to take profits instead of just randomly punching out on this position allowed me to capture a good chunk of that move. Got back in the long, right back on that dip where it pulls back and holds. I think I saw some size being flashed in this area too. Got back on that dip, more profits. Tried to take the $5 breakout and the 530 breakout. Got a little greedy and gave back some profits over here on Fubo TV. The rest of the stocks are almost all nothing burgers or scratches. I can quickly talk about them. It's a quick little short on Micron over here. I did like it, but I also figured, you know, what am I really playing for here? Yeah, I'm risking about 20 cents maybe. You know, I'm very close to $100. The stock seems to be finding some selling into $100. Maybe I get a move to VWAP, but like, really, what am I playing for here? It's not even worth a trade. So I just quickly take my profits and I walk away. Turns out to be the right decision because it never actually ends up going to VWAP, and if I was going to stick with the idea, I would have let it stop me out and it would have been a loss. So I scratched the trade and I walk away from it. Kind of what I do with SOXS, which is a semiconductor 3x leverage ETF long, with TSM making a new all-time high, with Micron going well above previous resistance levels, with Nvidia going into I guess all-time high. I figured, you know, these stocks gotta take a breather before they go on their second legs, but apparently no they don't. So all those stocks just kept going higher and higher and higher, except for TSM. TSM did get smoked a little bit off the open. Tried to long around this $18 area as it just kept getting bounced, but at the same time, Nvidia and all other stocks were being extremely strong, so I probably didn't even have the need to add to the trade. I did add to the trade, and then eventually I just kind of cut it for a small little loss, very tiny loss over there on SOXS. Why is my niece going crazy downstairs? Next, TSM pops back into the day's open and rejects off the day's open. So when it pops back into the day's open, I try a quick little short, very tiny size, almost irrelevant. I give it you know, a little bit of risk to that position. It goes, it stops me out. I say, you know, wah, I don't care. You know, I'll move on from it. But really what I am upset about is missing my setup trade over here on TSM. I missed my setup trade over here, and missing that was a big oofsies, because that made me take this FOMO trade, I guess, to kind of make up for not having this trade here, and FOMO trade, and this taking a tiny paper cut for no reason. These are issues that I have to work on. No reason to take these type of trades. No reason to take these type of trades. ARBE, I actually like this trade. Robotics sector reclaimed VWAP in a way. Robotics sector was ridiculously strong, but later on in the day they got a little weak, and they started holding. I guess ARBE, you wouldn't say this is strong because it was holding below VWAP the whole day, but it's up 56%. Okay, it's up 56%. So as it reclaimed VWAP over here a little bit, I tried a long. I gave it a little bit of extra risk, got stopped out, tiny size, didn't matter. This was a crazy move. If you look at Palantir today, Monster moved to the downside on Palantir with a lot of volume behind it. Crazy amount of volume being triggered off on Palantir as it just goes straight from $80 into what, 75, 74. So I tried to get along somewhere as the stock breaks out above the previous 5-minute bar high, somewhere right there. So 76.43, I tried the long, and then I get stopped out on the break of the low a day, and I just don't try anymore. I guess I should have been patient and tried it around the previous day's low, where it actually does give you a little bit of a better, you could say, capitulatory long, but where I tried it, it just kind of trapped you into that long. A lot of volume came in, so I figured that was the bottom. But there was another attempt where I could have easily got in. You can see how it just never took out the previous 5-minute bar high, and then takes out the 5-minute bar high, which also happens to be yesterday's low. It gives you a beautiful, what was the risk? You enter 75.21, low a day is 74.60, so let's say 50 cents a risk because your stop is 74.49 probably, okay? And then you get about 76.50 out of it, so you're risking 50 cents and you're getting about $1.50 depending on how you exit on the trade. Awesome, right? What more do you want on a trade like that? Easy, kind of a capitulatory long. Big move from $80 to $74.50 on Palantir today. I tried a piece of that, didn't really get a piece of that. I gave up on it right after getting it. BOXL, small cap stock. You could call this a cup and handle. right? You could call this a cup and handle right here. That's the handle, but that means the entry is right here. But because I didn't take that entry, I FOMO'd and I took the day high break entry where the stock went lower, halted, opened up and went higher again. I punched more, went lower, halted, went higher, lower, halted. So eventually I said, you know what, this is going nowhere. I'm just trying to make something out of a nothing over here. Let's just take the loss and move on this position. Doesn't make sense. Joby. Joby. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this name tomorrow, but with the amount of consolidation and trading it did around this area, I guess you could say it's an easy long above 10 at that point. I just forced it. I tried to go long too many times in this area, and then I used too tight of a stop. I also tried to go short and I used too wide of a stop, so I got double dinged on this position. Too tight of a stop on the long, too tight of a stop on the long again, and then I actually punch out and flip short, and that burns me because I give it wide enough of a risk. I try another short, give it wide enough of a risk. Thankfully, I'm not like loading up on this trade because I didn't like the way it already treated me. So when I lost on the shorts, I didn't really lose as much as I would usually. So not as big of a hit on the on the shorts compared to on the longs, because I actually believed in the long a lot more and was loading up on the longs. I thought this would be something like OKLO, just a lot later, just a lot slower. It didn't end up being like OKLO. Absolute shit stock. I guess drones are not the sector at the moment. The sector rotating. We got a new theme emerging. The previous themes were quantum, nuclear, drones, obviously, AI. Now a new theme emerging. We got robotics. We got, again, nuclear energy coming back into play. So keeping an eye on how theme rotations come into play on the market. RKLB, this was the office trade that was called out. I honestly liked the trade a lot, so I sized up on it. So when I took the hit, it was a decent enough of a hit. So one full risk unit, actually proper one full risk unit. The other ones like Joby or the other ones where it says 1R, they're not actually 1R in terms of how much money I'm actually losing, but in terms of risk to reward units, I lost 1R on them. But this one, I lost quite a good chunk of money on this one. Starting off the day pretty negative because of this one, but I like the trade. So I took it. I had chances to cut the trade much earlier. I gave it room, I gave it respect, and later on, clearly that wasn't the right idea. It gave you a short opportunity, I guess, if you were watching for it. I just later on said, no thank you, I don't want to be looking at you anymore. Same idea with RGTI, IonQ, quantum names. They were looking pretty strong. IonQ above its all-time high, so I thought maybe RGTI could have a little bit of a follow-through, especially after this little dip, right? It pops, dips, and then gets bought right back up, consolidates in this area really well with the seller sitting on 21. So if we break 21, it could be a lot of fun. It breaks 21, it's not fun at all. Immediately drops back, takes me out for some size. I'm still holding some size just to see if I can get lucky. It starts to pop higher. Bam! Immediate slammer on the downside over there on RGTI, and a big down move on that one. Another office name, obviously, and then Nvidia short in front of 150. Another office trade. Those three names right there cost me quite a bit of my day today. If I only traded OKLO, I would have been so good. IonQ, this is my own fault. Obviously, this one hurt quite a bit too. This was one full risk unit, properly one full risk unit of loss for me. The way the stock was holding 50, especially, look, it popped above 50. I thought I missed the train. I was very upset for not having the long right here where my cursor is at that $50 area. I thought I missed the trade. It gets slammed back down. I'm happy that I missed the trade. I'm super happy that I missed the trade. pops back to 50 and starts holding 50 again. Okay, then it rips above 50 to 51, drops back again, and then holds 50 again. Okay, let's try long. At this point, I don't have to risk much below like 49.50, much below VWAP. As the stock starts to reclaim $50, I try my long, but this time you're getting lower highs, lower highs. That should be enough of a reason to not add to the trade. You know, you already have size over there. You don't need to add to the trade. You gave it a proper risk unit. You gave it one full dollar per share risk unit. You're long around 50. You're short around 49. No need to really add to the position over there. Realize that you're getting lower highs after a previous failure of breakthrough of 51. You could even recognize it that way, right? Previous breakthrough failure of 51 and a major slammer down to the downside. So losing a little bit of extra. Now I'm actually realizing this as I'm talking out loud about it. Losing a little bit extra on this one was unnecessary. Could have just kept that nice and tidy. One entry, one out. Didn't work out for the short side. Later on, the stock actually gave you a good long over here. I was talking to my manager about this long. He said he would not have taken that. I possibly would have taken that. And then maybe get yelled at later on. That's a long right there that I would have possibly kept an eye out for. But the main one was this pullback and hold of 50. You can see how it kind of breaks back above this resistance. The seller gets above the seller, pulls back, and then starts holding above 50. Pulls back and then starts holding above 50 again. That's another spot over there to look long. It also gave you multiple opportunities to scalp some shorts if you were interested in that. That is the wrap for the names that I traded today. You could say poor performance, but not really poor performance in terms of risk management, but poor performance in terms of, you know, over trading. But thankfully, like I said, I didn't lose at all. Like in terms of the notional value, the red was too little, 0.07% of what I'm allowed to lose on a day. So I'm sitting pretty. I think we can come back tomorrow and come with a big comeback. Knock them out, especially the ones that tried to knock us out. We knock them out. We lost round 1, but round 2, which is basically kind of technically round 2 because I only traded one day of 2025 so far, which was today. So basically round 2 of 2025. Let's see if we can come back and put them in a chokehold and a sleep. Talking about chokeholds and sleep, and the thumbnail of the day, Dana White is now the not the CEO. Wait, not the CEO. Dana White is now the part of the company. He's sitting in the board seat for Meta with Mark Zuckerberg, which is a pretty cool thing from Mark Zuckerberg, if you ask me. It's a pretty good idea. Dana White's a great businessman. I mean, if you see what he did with UFC, obviously that's probably just a niche, but he's also doing it with Power Slap. He's a great marketer, right? That's what fighting, boxing, these guys are promoters, these guys are marketers. How does Facebook make money? Marketing, advertising, you know, the brand deals and all things that Dana White could potentially bring in for Meta and help Meta, and not only help Meta but also include UFC in the package where we already seen before. You can strap on these Oculus helmets and you feel like you're sitting right at the ringside watching UFC, and it looks like an amazing experience. So all the awesome things that could happen from that. Here are some of the other stocks that moved today. Obviously semiconductors, NARI, possibly a buyout deal, apparently a $5 billion deal, $4.9 billion deal, NARI. So some of these names on our watch list obviously today, and nice little opportunity finder. Let's go through the Fubos and the Metas for tomorrow to see what opportunities can we get out of it. Meta could start a strong uptrend here. I was hoping Meta would honestly pull back to the 200-day moving average. That way I could buy it on my own account, but nope, no bueno. We're not gonna get a dip on Meta, are we? No bueno. Meta actually bouncing off the earnings anchored VWAP with a nice double bottom on the earnings anchored VWAP. And I guess that was your opportunity to look long right there. If you didn't catch it, you missed out. Wah wah. And now we're getting a big move back up to the north side, especially on this Dana White catalyst, and the market having a pretty good reversal today also, right? Market looked a little bearish going into December. Santa rally looked like it wasn't going to be real anymore, but with this rally a little bit, right time for Santa rally. I think Santa rally actually starts in January, kinda. I don't know, whatever. I could be wrong in even saying that, but the Santa rally kind of coming in after Christmas for us, and helping us out with a nice little pop on the market. I know a lot of people's portfolios saw green today, and they were very happy from that. You were overthinking it. Some trades do go as expected. Yes, sir. Strong momentum in the last one. What are you talking about? Strong momentum in the last one. Trade in a yard. What's up, brother? How you doing? Billy down under. Interesting. Do you think he's Fidel Castro's son? Who? Trudeau? Do I think Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son? I don't know. I have no clue. Does he look like Fidel Castro's son? Is that a thing? I've heard this before, I think. What the hell? That's nothing like... Oh, wait. Is that it? I could see that guy kind of being... No. I don't know. Hey, we finally got these sheets updating again. Shout out to Pradeep Bonde from Stock B. Stock B top 50 momentum stocks of the day. These are always good to track, study, look for patterns, analyze, see if you can find a trade. Like, ooh, rum today was a good trade, really? Apparently a good momentum trader on rum today. Maybe just in the basket because it was one of the most recent stocks that were moving around quite a bit. Kit, obviously a pretty good short opportunity on Kit today. I should go back to the yearly chart and then go back to this. I don't want to ruin my my setups. Okay, Google it. Look at the old pic. He looked like it. He doesn't, man. That does not look like Trudeau. Alright, I guess so. I can see the same bushy eyebrows. I don't know, you can say this, you can do the same thing and say this about a million people, man. This is, I don't know. I did hear that. I think I heard that on Joe Rogan. I think I heard that on Joe Rogan that that his mom traded Fidel Castro. Why am I doxing my goddamn email? I need to stop using my normal browser for everything, man. Holy shit. I need to stop using my normal browser for everything. I'm insane for even doing that. All right. Fubo TV. So big pop on Fubo TV today. Obviously, partnership with Disney gave me some long opportunities, but wow, okay, big pop in the after hours over here. Nice little move in the after hours to the upside. Basically, you're watching for day 2 patterns. If you pull back the chart on a longer time frame, you can see that. What the hell? Jesus. pull back the stock on a longer time frame. This is the monthly chart at the moment. You can see right here, August 2023, December 2023 highs around $4, which we clearly got above. Now we're trading in the $6 area. This August 2022 highs around $8. We're kind of in between that. It's around 630, 650 right now in the after hours. What's the after hour high? 630. So 630 is the after hour high, and we're not that far from $8. So watching for how the stock behaves on this rally at the moment. Now obviously this is a complete pivot on fundamentals for this name. This is what you would consider an episodic pivot. If you are somebody who watches Kulomagi's methodology of trading, I would think that this would be textbook fundamental change of episodic pivot concept, because of how you're getting completely new market cap mixing and partnerships and deals, and maybe even more money being flown into the company, growth opportunities. So this changes everything about this big company that previously was a darling in the COVID era. I remember the stock price being crazy high in COVID era. But let's go quickly see what the short float is. 12% short flow, no PE, not profitable yet. 1.7 billion market cap, 300 million flow overall. So not a small float, but very clearly still a small cap, because it is not above the 2 billion market cap marker, but very clearly will be above the 2 billion market cap marker very, very soon. About to push into the $8 area potentially over the next few days over here. Now keep in mind, January 9th is Jimmy Carter Day. Yeah, so January 9th is a holiday on the stock market. So that means Wednesday will be sadly the last episode of this week, but also that means a short week over here. So expectations need to be contained. Volatility is going a little crazy right now because of the short week possibly, and you're getting insane moves. Meta, Fubo, semiconductors, and so on. Okay, so Fubo, obviously watching it for a day 2 opportunity. For me, it's very simple. It's either staying above this 389 $4 area. It's not like a hard and sand 389. It's kind of 380 hard and sand, hard line and sand, but it's not 389. Okay, so I'm watching somewhere between 380 to $4 for a dip, but well above that because of this after hour reaction that you're seeing on the name. I'm more so interested as to how the stock behaves on the pullback into this news anchored VWAP. So I have an anchored VWAP from when the news came out and how the stock reacted from there ever since. And that one's right around, okay, that one's actually at 409, potentially a little bit higher in pre-market because of how the stock is reacting. You might not even get a dip to get long off the on the stock off the open, especially because of how extended and how volatile it's looking at the moment. What might be a more probable permutation for us to play off of will be the stock goes somewhere above here and the $8-10 area looks exhausted, and then people are going to potentially pile in on the shorts. Then you either get a blowout off those shorts, or you get an actual short opportunity playing out on Fubo TV. So I'm not sure how I want to be setting up for this. Obviously, pre-market is going to dictate the setup opportunities for Fubo TV. So it's a very, very big, highly important name on the watch list tomorrow. You could put down, $3.80 to $4 to keep an eye on. That's where the VWAP ended today for after hours and so on. So $4, that would be yesterday's VWAP. I'm not gonna even put that. I know what I'm doing. So $3.80 to $4, that's an area to keep an eye on for any dip opportunity. I don't think you get that dip into that area at all. Here's today's high, 530. That could be a level to keep an eye on. If the stock dips into 530 and clearly holds above 530, or 530 to $5, that's an opportunity to look for a long to build into on Fubo. After hour high might be a little important, but really not that important to me. More important right now now is that $8 area that we have on the resistance side. If it does push in there, we'll see what happens. Inflection level, I'll say 530 because that's kind of today's high. If we pull back into 530, show me buying above 530. I'm very interested on this position. Guri's in the house. What's up, Guri? How you doing, brother? How'd you do today? I know you slayed, what was it, Fubo? You had a great long on Fubo from $3. I should have just taken that with you. God damn it, I suck. I suck. All right, so Fubo, watching what happens on this one tomorrow, obviously, for day 2 opportunities. Day 2 plays on watch. The higher above 8, I might look short, but only looking long on dips until stock gets below 4. Maybe not. Maybe not. Day 2 plays on watch. Let's do if and then commands. Let's do if and then commands, right? Because that's a little bit easier for my logical brain. My very logical brain. If stock higher than 8 might look short. If stock holding 5 or 4 looking long. Bang. I don't have to worry too much about it at that point. Okay, next one. Meta with the big move today. Monster move off the Dana White catalyst, which I think is a little funny, honestly. Besides that, there wasn't really any other real catalyst. They did actually, what was it, some other Wedbush and some of the other stuff in there. What did the center point say? Did we close the center point? Did I close the center point tweet? Let me quickly open back up center point tweet over here. Center point, where are you? There you are. Meta up 4% after we're seeing a price target increase from Wedbush, and the company also announced Dana White, John Elkin, whoever that is, Charlie Songhurst will join the board of directors. Who's this guy? Former global corporate strategist and currently one of the top investors in Eurotech. Okay. Italian industrialist. In 1997 became the chosen heir of the maternal grandfather Gianni Angelelli. Following the death of Gianni's nephew Giovanni Alberto Angelelli. What do they do? Multi-industry business dynasty. Jeez. Okay. Alright. So more people. Most importantly, Dana White, obviously. Nobody else other than Dana White's as important. So big move on Meta today to the upside. I guess all-time high is on watch, right? Pretty much watching how the stock behaves at all-time high. Either it rejects it and doesn't even break it, or it breaks above all-time high and gives you a great long above it, or it pulls back and holds above all-time high and gives you some sort of a secondary leg for a long, or it breaks all-time high and then rejects all-time high for a good short. So I only really care at 2 areas on this position. I care, I guess, 3 areas. All-time high, today's VWAP. Besides that, I don't really care what the stock does. So let me just quickly map out those levels over here. All-time high is 638.40. Really? 637.89. So 638 basically. So 637.89/680. Am I typing 3 for 6s? What's going on right now? How am I typing 680 also? It's 640. 638. But you can kind of just say. Can't type numbers right now, chat. Okay, I apologize. So watching the all-time high area, we got today's high, which is around 631 basically. I guess today's high is actually not as important because of how we ramped into it onto the close, kind of more into these areas if it dips and holds into these areas. So honestly, I'll just stick with what I said earlier, 2 levels. I only care about either how the stock behaves at today's VWAP, which is around $620 to $619.50. Either it dips into there and gives me a long, or it goes into the all-time high and then I get to make decisions around all-time high. Besides that, I kind of don't really want to do anything on this name. So let me put in if holding support, look long, all-time high, break long, all-time high, break and fail short, all-time high, break and pull back, hold long. There you go. Just 4 simple setups. Either they come into play or I'm not trading the stock at all. 4 simple setups. Next one, SERV. Let's see how this one's setting up. On the daily, it's looking good. All-time high incoming. Okay. But also on the daily, it's extended as fuck. So very extended over here. Previously, the stock has brought in 200 million shares and topped out around this area. We are nowhere close to trading 200 million shares at the moment. Only 27 million shares as the hype in robotics starts to pick up, as a new theme starts to emerge in the market. Some hype around this name obviously coming into play. So 24 all the way up to 24.35 as the resistance area to keep an eye on SERV. Kind of the same idea as Meta. Either you reject around this and set up for a beautiful short, maybe you go higher a little bit and then pull back below 24 for some sort of a short. This is a little bit of an overextension on the daily chart, so mainly we'll be watching for the downside. But what alerts went off? Okay, GEO and OKLO, thank you. Mainly looking for the short side because of the overextension, but you know, these stocks don't have to pull back at all. We've seen crazier things happen in current realm of themes. When a theme catches traction, IONQ. When a theme catches traction, it can go absolutely crazy, right? QUBT, QMCO. You pull up whichever one you want. You had QUBT, for example. You know, very similar to what SERV kind of looks like at the moment. ARQQ. So all these stocks look very similar. They're just bringing up the traction at the moment. So you want to be careful on the daily chart. You can call this kind of a possible cup being formed and then a handle possibly coming into place. A little bit of a short couple days and then a big breakout afterwards. So watching for opportunities on either side. Either 24 holds on the bid. If holding 24, look long, looking short under 24, and then above 24, depending on if the stock even gets above 24 tomorrow. That kind of, you know, whole new situation, new questions, all those will be having to be discovered in pre-market and so on. So we'll see what happens in pre-market on most of these names, all of these names, what happens to them on pre-market. Sometimes you get lucky, like OKLO, where the stock actually gives you the trade you were looking for, and when you see that, you slam that trade. When you see exactly what you're looking for from the market, what you're planning for, and the market's giving you exactly that, you slam that trade. And I did that. Okay, IRBT, same sector, same theme, bringing in a little bit of volume, blasting off to the north side, breaking out of previous resistance pockets and going into new resistance pockets. So watching how to see how the stock reacts at these areas. Simple trade, really. You're just watching the whole sector. I have the whole sector as on a watch list, so I'm just watching how all of them are behaving. You can see how only 2 of them are down today, and you have one 50%er, one 30%er, two 50%ers, and then 1, 2, 3 20 percenters. So pretty green across the board on the sector. Some of the other names you might want to be interested in: MBOT, big extension on the daily on MBOT. This could set up for a big short instead of the other two. So if you are interested to short one of them, maybe look for MBOT instead of SCRV, right? So SCRV could still have some traction, some craziness behind it. MBOT could be the garbage, no name, small cap one that is just getting sympathy, and then when the sympathy stops catching traction, these are the ones that get blown out to the downside. So MBOT, keep an eye out for that one. Guard Force, I know these guys actually make robotics, if I remember correctly. Guard Force AI, did they make robotics? I forget, but you know, it's not as ugly extended. It is extended, don't get me wrong, but it has a little bit of a breakout nature to it, right? Kind of just broke out, and then you know, potentially gap fill, holds a gap fill. Not as ugly as I would say as MBOT, because this is so overextended. This stock is 68% away from the 5-day moving average, so it is super overextended, and a short on any pop on this name would be awesome to keep an eye out for, obviously. So MBOT, watching for that one for potential shorts. Watching for shorts mainly. Other stocks in the sector, IRBT and so on. The list just goes on and on and on. All right, next one, Nvidia. Big move on Nvidia today. Almost back into all-time high. Not really back into all-time high, but almost back into all-time high. You know, Microsoft said that they're going to be spending $80 billion this year on AI infrastructure, on quantum computing infrastructure, and all that other fun jazz. So these stocks obviously all rallying to the high side. You're getting price upgrades across the board for all of these names. You can look at Micron gapping up big time. You can look at TSM going into a new all-time high. AMD having a little bit of a saving grace. You got Intel also. Oh wow, Intel got slammed back down. Wow, Intel does not catch a break. No break for Intel. SMCI, so all the basket in general, SOXX or SMH, whatever you use to keep a track on, or even SOXL, whatever you use to keep a track on for the semiconductor names. You know, pick your poison. For me at the moment, it's going to be a basket of them, because the sector is kind of picking up. It's getting hot again. It's getting flaming hot Cheetos hot for the chips over here. So Nvidia, you got a Micron potentially holding this area again, which is 95.50. Today's bottom 95.50. So if the stock, come on, this is actually something I prepared for yesterday. Come on. I guess I didn't prepare for this yesterday. I prepared for this in pre-market. If I go to my watch list, a 95.60 resistance, easy long if stock can hold above 91, which it obviously blasted through 91 in pre-market itself. But I adapted my watch list in pre-market, and I put this 95.60 resistance, and it actually turned out to be 95.60 support, and a big blast off to $101, or a little bit higher than 101 actually, on Micron. So potentially dip buys into 95. Obviously, we'll watch to see how the stock behaves on that potential opportunity. ARM, another one to keep an eye on. ARM, but the ARM recently got slammed after it got some love. Anyways, going to Micron first, 95.50. Today's VWAP potentially a little bit higher than 95.50, 98.80. I'm not sure that really matters. I think it's gonna easily blow through that tomorrow if there is some weakness, and then 95.50 is going to be the more important value to keep an eye on Micron. So I'm just gonna only care about 95.50. That's it. I don't care about anything else other than that. Either it gives me a dip there, or I don't care. Maybe I will care into today's high from 101.50 to 101 area. See how the stock plays out in that zone. I'll kind of just do 101.50. Watch, see how the stock plays out. TSM, very weak off the open, but managed to find some strength later on in the day. Very weak off the open. Managed to find strength later on in the day, and actually have a little bit of a rally. It's sad that I missed my trade that I wanted on this one. Anyways, new all-time high coming into play. I guess you're watching it for day 2 opportunities. VWAP doesn't, I guess you could say VWAP kind of matters. If it does dip back into VWAP and hold 220, 219.50, 219, if it dips back into this area and hold, potentially you could look long. But with how choppy the stock was, not only was it choppy off the open, you can see a big rally, big slam down, reclaim, and then chop around, tried to go higher, chop back to the north south side. So very ugly. So either it goes back into this 219, 220 area and gives me a clean pattern to look long. Otherwise, I might not even be interested on trading this name at all tomorrow. It needs to be like a very clear cut pattern, and I don't know where I heard this, maybe SMB Capital, but the trade needs to hit you right between the eye, right? The trade needs to hit you right between the eye, and the level needs to be clear. I don't see a very clear opportunity forming just by looking at today's level off a quick glance. So I might need to give it a little more analyzing, but I'll just do that tomorrow when I'm looking for setups. I'll analyze the setups tomorrow, give it some proper time, and look for setups on them if it has volume to even begin with. NARI, this one apparently a buyout. I'm not sure if it's actually getting bought out. Stryker to acquire Inari Medical on a $4.9 billion deal at $80 per share. It is a buyout, $80 per share. So big pop on this name, going into a little bit above 80, surprisingly. Okay, that was a great short opportunity there. But watching the stock, should be resistance 80. The closer it gets to 80, the more I want to be looking short on this name. When is this deal closing? Alpha Rank, NARI. They are not updated. Oh wait, why would I look all the way down there for N? I'm stupid. NARI, ABCD, GH, JK. Okay, it's not updated. Maybe if I refresh the page, it might update. Let's see. Nope. Okay, not updated, but the new deal, it's pretty rare that a stock rips that far to the north side all the way up to the deal price on the day that the deal is announced. The stock's market cap is 3.8 billion. It's getting bought out at 5 billion. Let's say 4.9 billion because that's what the actual number is, but I'm rounding up to 5 billion. So it's getting bought out for 5 billion. It makes the pop to 5 billion in valuation. Technically, it should not go much higher. So if we do get short opportunities, the closer we get into $80, there are going to be a couple very important caveats on the trade over here. The caveats are, what are the percentage of the deal actually going through? Is the DOJ going to pass the deal? Are they going to come in and not let the deal through? How much of the deal might fall apart? So there's a little study that you might have to go through, and then if you like the deal to the long side, you might want to buy it on the dips. But if you don't like the deal, then you obviously want to look for the shorts and hopefully pray that the deal doesn't go through. But I don't know if that's a profitable strategy. I guess it has been a little bit of a profitable strategy, but with Trump going into power on January 20th, I actually did a little bit of a Google research right before going live today. With Trump going live, not live, with Trump going into power on January 20th, it's just more bullish for deals, mergers, acquisitions, and so on. It's just more bullish because the change in regime in the administration. Okay, Palantir with a little bit of a back and forth. Yeah, it rejected 80 cleanly. Yeah, it went below. Basically, it went from yesterday's high to yesterday's low perfectly. Just a one-shot straight move from top to down. Had a nice inside day move over there. But besides that, I don't know if I want to do anything. If you look at the daily chart, I don't know if I want to do anything with this name at the moment as a day trade. So I might just ignore on Palantir. To keep myself safe, I'll actually delete the name from the watch list for tomorrow. That will keep me safe and not even make me pull up the stock unless somebody else calls it out. And then maybe I'll go, okay, fine, let me pull up the damn stock. Plug Power, other theme that is currently catching traction. A lot of them red today. Mostly the small caps are red today, but some of them are green. Plug Power, FCell, these were stocks that were catching traction just going into December, going into January, starting of January, and so on. So continuing some traction on them. Plug Power, FCell, SEDG actually pulling back into $16 and potentially giving you a clean long off of 16. If the longer it holds 16, I love the long. If stock holds 16, I'm gonna downgrade from from love to like. I like the long if it holds 16. I'm downgrading it because of how it got hammered back down today from that $19 area. So expecting it to go back into 19 tomorrow is crazy, but I like the long. I like it. If it holds 16, we'll see what happens. You got the potential gap fill into 1540 also to keep an eye out for. QuantumScape, kind of in the same battery sector. Let me just move that name a little bit higher to put it in the battery name area. So Plug Power, QuantumScape, energy names, I guess you could say. OKLO for sure on watch. All-time high, 28. Previous all-time high, $28. Stock kind of struggled quite a lot today to take out or stay above 28, but eventually got strong above 28. So watching any dips back into this 28 area for long, either it holds above 30 cleanly and then gives you a dip buy into 30. That'll just happen. Either it holds 30 cleanly and gives you a dip buy into 30 after popping up in pre-market, or it gives you some sort of a blast off above yesterday's high by consolidating tightly above yesterday's high or right at yesterday's high. So either above yesterday's high consolidation or right below yesterday's high for a breakout for that area. Ideally, I would like for it to go a little bit higher than yesterday's high, dip, give us a nice little rip from there right there. So this is the pre-market action, and this is right off the open. We dip and then we rip on this position. So that's something that I'm kind of envisioning on OKLO tomorrow, something that I would really like seeing on this name, on OKLO. Day 2 play, obviously keeping an eye out for day 2 plays on watch. NNE, another energy name, same nuclear energy name, but not really the exact same idea as OKLO, because OKLO was at all-time highs, right? This stock is not at all-time highs, not yet at all-time highs, but heading towards that area. Has a previous resistance at $34, so let's see what happens at 34. Above 34, you have that 37.50 to keep an eye out for. So some headwinds, some not real blue skies. It doesn't have blue skies like OKLO to the north side, so you have to keep an eye out to see how this stock trades. Next one, Joby. Joby is simple. I don't even have to look at the chart. I'm just looking at my watch list and typing. I only care if stock can hold above 10 for the long, period. I only care if the stock is holding above 10 for the long. For the short, if stock can get below 950, is that my threshold? 980 was today's low, but 950 was today's low. 932 was last month's high. That's also yesterday's VWAP. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So kind of like 930. If it does not hold 930 to $9, then I'll be interested as a sector rotation starts to take play. The fact that the stock is not even holding 9 at the moment, I'm not sure why that line's even there. I potentially could delete that. Once the stock stops holding these important levels for me, then I'll go, okay, you know what? There's a clear sector rotation. People are not interested in drones anymore, and we're gonna watch a little bit of a drop on the drones as they're getting shot out of the sky, especially in New Jersey. Shout out to the drones in New Jersey. If you live in New Jersey, what the hell is going on over there? Please fill me in. I am very, very curious, especially because Joe Rogan keeps saying that these drones are hunting nuclear warheads that got lost from Ukraine. If that's true, I'm shitting myself. I guess I don't know why I would be, because I'm not even American, I'm Canadian. That's pretty interesting. A line that I just drew right there from that high is exactly where the stock struggled 2 days in a row. What's that price? 11.82. So 11.82 to $12. Watching how the stock reacts into this area. If failed break of 12, love the short, especially if other drone stocks are weak. I'm just gonna leave that in my notes. That's it, because I don't want to even fancy a bigger, maybe I'll fancy a little bit of a long. If stock cleanly holding the 12, I might like the long. Red Cat, R-Cat, another drone name, up big time today. Are you at all-time high, Red Cat? Nowhere close. I love when these like split names show up like that. Okay, anyways, nowhere close. You are at the 52-week high, however. If we zoom out a little bit, when in doubt, zoom out. Is there a level that we can even find? No. Because all of this is kind of irrelevant at this point. I don't know what to say. This is honestly looking a lot more stable and steady compared to the other drone stocks. Obviously, Joby is very stable and steady on the 1-minute chart if you're looking at it today. And so is it on the daily chart. A little bit of consolidation over here under $9, showing you that buyers are stepping up above 7 but below 9, kind of. Well, I guess they are stepping up above 9 also, but you get the idea that I'm trying to mention. But RCAT, you know, this one is not as extended. So if you're really interested in a long, and the drones are flying again, pun intended every time I say it, 100%. If the drones are flying again, this might be the one to keep an eye out for the long side. I like that this is not as extended as the others. If drones are hot again, this could be on watch for long. Okay, there you go. IonQ. Now the sector has been slowed down a little bit. I don't know if I should say that. The volume clearly slowing down, okay? Volume clearly slowing down. If you look at how dirty RGTI today was, mainly because I lost on it. You had other stocks like QBTS, IonQ pop up, ARQQ got slammed back down a little bit. LAES got negative by 5%. So a little bit of a red move on, I guess a mixed move. You know, I'm not sure if I really want to be as interested on the quantum sector as some of the other sectors are emerging right now, right? But I'll still have it on my watch list. Don't get me wrong, I still have it on my watch list. You can't even see it. I'll still have it on the watch list. I just don't know what to grade it. I don't know how I want to trade these stocks. Obviously, IonQ is at all-time highs. So day 1, day 2, day 3. Is there a day 4? I don't know. If there's volume behind it, I might be interested. But there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and that can only be answered in the pre-market. These questions can only be answered in the pre-market. So watching how these stocks set up. Tesla with the big move today, obviously to the upside, but that got slammed back down today. I remember watching Tesla going back into 400. Big negative slammer after popping up in the pre-market. That was a what the hell of a move on Tesla, honestly. So obviously watching Tesla for sure. Surprisingly, okay. I like the fact that today's VWAP is right around one of the previous all-time highs, which was that 415.50 area, 414.50 area. It's not really there, it's a little bit around that area, but not that it probably has that big of a significance. Watching how Tesla sets up, a little bit of a pop and slam back down, showing you that sellers are still in this area. We got the delivery numbers anchored VWAP still plotted on the chart, and that one's showing you that it's kind of acting as, I guess it's indecisive. It's back and forth. It's back and forth. I don't want to call it a support. It's very back and forth. I don't want to call it a support. So I'm not sure what I really want to do with Tesla either. QS, plug power. I need volume on these ones tomorrow for sure. Without volume on them tomorrow, I might be very hesitant to trade it. I'll watch this $3 area on plug. That's today's VWAP. I'll give it an orange significance for now. QS, I might not even really care about QS. Maybe a dip buy into $6 could be interesting. If 6 holds on a dip buy, I might not even be interested in QS at all. I'll be honest with you. I might even delete it off the watch list here. SMCI, I guess it did break out at 35.60, right? Did break out at 35.60 and stayed above it. You could say as long as it stays above 35.50 to 35.60, there could be a long, as long as the semiconductor industry stays hot. But if it doesn't hold this area, that could be a short. If holding support levels can look long, but I like the short more if sector looks weak after yesterday's performance, after yesterday's strength. Okay, ARM. This is was 150 the high today? 150 was the high today. Wow. Okay. I don't know what I want to do with ARM. Like, look at all this chop slop. There's way better quality trades that we talked about today. For example, Fubo, maybe a mean reversion MBOT short, OKLO into near all-time highs. So there's just way better trades in my opinion than keeping an eye on ARM. If ARM gives you a trade around 150, like if 150 pops and rejects, I guess going short there doesn't hurt. But that's the only trade I care about. Either short near 150 or a long when holding above 150. Other than that, I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens on this name. Me using this language is how I keep myself away from over trading some of these names. But that I have to actually read the descriptions. Sometimes I don't even read them. I'll be honest with you. I don't even read these descriptions sometimes in the pre-market. I just make up new descriptions in the pre-market. Oh, so stupid. I need to stick to my ideas. Stick to your ideas, Prad. Micron, oh yeah, 95.50. Either stock holds 95.50 or it doesn't and closes gap into 91. I'm gonna put that as my inflection level. What is today's VWAP? 98.82. Let's say 98.50 to 99. I'm not even typing. 98.50, 98.50 to 99. Yesterday's VWAP on watch. As an inflection level. Either it holds yesterday's VWAP, which is today's VWAP, and stays bullish above it, meaning that today's VWAP is actually the best price for tomorrow. Also, the buyers are also buying tomorrow, and their average prices, the continuation from today going into tomorrow. If that's the case, I don't want to be looking short. I don't want to be looking short at all. But if we are holding below that and going back into 95.50, I might be looking long a little bit, but I also might want to be looking short on pops. because clearly yesterday's price is not today's price. Shout out to Fat Joe. Yesterday's price is not today's price. If the stock manages to hold below today's VWAP, I would think that, you know, a little bit of weakness, a little bit of price correction coming into play, potential bounce off of 95.50. Yes, but that doesn't mean I don't have to short 99. I don't have to short 100. I could short 100. I could short 99 for a move into 95.50 and then enjoy the rewards on that move down and then flip long afterwards if 95.50 shows strength. If 95.50 doesn't show strength, then we got that bigger move into the gap fill at 91 that I was talking about. So looking for opportunities all across the board on how the stock sets up over here. Do you set up alerts with your watch list? I sometimes do. Usually off stream I do that. You know, I set up alerts on mostly the purple names, because those are the names I care about the most. But recently I've been doing that more in pre-market. I've been doing that more in pre-market instead of after hours or you know, my homework time. For levels that I do want to be very interested in, for example, like maybe Micron or OKLO. I had one for OKLO. You can see how alerts for OKLO triggered, alert for Go EV triggered, because that broke all-time high, but then it got rejected from all-time high, and then not all-time high, sorry, it triggered one of my alerts and moved back below. So I have alerts set up, and then I also do them in pre-market. But ladies and gentlemen, that is basically the watch list that I am interested in tomorrow. Hopefully you found some trades off of those opportunities. The next few things that I have to do are basically my simple homework things that I do. For example, keeping a track of some of the best trades on the day, doing my daily report card, analyzing the way I traded today, and all the other things that I'm trying to add to my routine that can potentially help me become a better trader, because I'm seeing traders who are much better than me do these things. So it is not fair for me not to do these things and expect me to get their type of results, if you can understand what I'm saying. So adding some new things into my routine. This basically kind of started over in December, where I take pictures of the best charts on the day. I make a note of where the best entries could be on those stocks around my setups. That way I'm ingraining the chart patterns, the system that I need to look for my entries, the patience I might need for my trade to even work sometimes. So I'm looking at all these patterns, I'm logging it, putting it into my mind. I have a big catalog of charts over here that I have at my disposal that I can take a look at whenever, and I want to keep building on it. I don't want to get lazy. I want to keep building on it. So I'm going to take a day off over here, not day off, I'm gonna call it a day over here on stream. We talked about my trades on the day. I talked about my potential trades for tomorrow. Keep an eye out for offline videos coming out very soon, so I gotta start recording offline videos and all that other fun stuff. Let me actually roll in the outro while I'm talking about all this. I gotta record offline videos and all the other fun stuff. It's gonna potentially be about a new company that I'm very interested to go swing long on. A new company, it's not a new company, but a company that I'm interested to go swing long on. So I'll talk about that in a YouTube video, and then more content coming out slowly and steadily. So stay tuned. We are obviously back to our streaming schedule over here in the new year 2025. Let's hope that it's a prosperous and a very happy new year for all of us. Thank you for joining me. It's your boy TraderPrad. I can't wait to hang out with you guys again in 2025. Peace. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD
15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.